At this very moment, when you are looking, something is moving in the deepest parts of the ocean in absolute darkness. Something we've never seen, not something science has fully explained yet. Our planet is 71% ocean, and less than 1% of the deep bottomland has been directly observed, roughly comparable in scale to a small U.S. state. We are more acquainted with Mars than with what lies below our own waves. Even putting Mount Everest in the bottom of the ocean, the mountain peak would still be submerged by kilometers of water. And down there, in its squeezing pressure and total darkness, life lives in a way that is beyond all our expectations. This is what we found, and what we are yet unable to explain. Before we get into the details, if you want to experience more adventures into the unknown, please like and subscribe. It helps us continue these in-depth explorations. The mystery. That is the bad news. The deep ocean is the largest unknown on Earth. Using modern technology, researchers estimate having sonar mapped 27% of the seabed. That sounds logical until you understand that mapping only involves sonar scans displaying the terrain. Most of it has never been seen directly. Seeing requires cameras, requires light. It involves human beings or machines descending there and spending long periods of time surveying the area, and that is almost never the case. Why? Because below 2,000 meters depth, pressure begins to crush instruments. The visibility is reduced to close to zero. Very limited footage can be captured relative to the vast area. The landscape is unfriendly, rough, and difficult to navigate. And since we cannot see what is there, we cannot tell what is alive there. However, whenever we look, we see something that should not exist by surface world standards. Creatures that defy expectations. In 2023, researchers captured a video of the deepest confirmed fish species, a snailfish, small and translucent, swimming 8,336 meters deep. At that depth, the pressure is more than 800 times greater than that which we feel on the sea level. By surface world standards, this fish, Pseudoliparus swirei, should not be alive. It is at this point that things get weirder. Snailfish are soft-bodied and gelatinous. They have reduced bone density in their skulls. They have bones that are not fully calcified, but are more cartilaginous and are pliant to the force of nature that should splinter normal bones. And they are not the only ones down there. Scientists have found a massive phantom jellyfish, Stygiomedusa gigantea, with arms up to 10 meters in length. It is rarely seen. A world where the sun never rises, where the only way we have ever heard about these creatures is by chance. Then there is the squid, which hides itself. Recently, scientists have captured a poorly understood deep-sea squid engaging in a form of burial upside down in the sediment, disguised as a plant. This is new behavior that has never been encountered. We don't know why it does this, and we do not even know what kind of species it is. The deep sea is alive and busy doing things we have never thought it could do. The world beneath the world. Like the video, to help it reach others. And if you value this research, subscribe. However, what could be the most outrageous finding of all here is that life is not only on the ocean floor, it exists beneath it. In recent research published in 2025, researchers discovered complex biological communities inhabiting the seabed itself. Tube worms, snails, and other organisms that live in cracks and crevices beneath the sediment are linked to hydrothermal vents, which force chemically rich water through the rock. This was not expected to be possible. The bottom of the sea was thought to be the boundary, the demarcation point. Evolution, however, did not receive the memo. These subsurface ecosystems expand our knowledge of where life can exist. They are not merely subverting the fringes, they are removing them. Life without light. On the surface, living is dependent on the sun. Plants photosynthesize. Animals eat plants. Predators eat those animals. Take away the sun, and the whole food chain will fall, with the exception of the deep ocean where the rules are different. Rather than photosynthesis, deep sea life relies on chemosynthesis, the utilization of chemical energy sources of methane, hydrogen sulfide, and other volcanic gases leaking through the crust. Bacteria cover the seabed with white layers where they feed on these chemicals and become the backbone of whole ecosystems. Tube worms live in groups around hydrothermal vents with their bodies harboring bacteria that convert noxious chemicals to energy. These animals lack mouths and have reduced digestive tracts. They do not eat in any conventional manner. This makes a radical shift in our thinking about life. Seeing that living beings can survive on chemical energy alone, without relying on the sun, what does it imply about other beings in the universe? One of the moons of Jupiter, Europa, possesses an underground ocean. Enceladus is a Saturnian moon with hydrothermal activity. The deep sea is not only educating us about the planet, but also revealing to us where to turn in case we want to find life outside of it. Alien evolution. The animals that we do have appear to be out of place. Most of them are see-through. Their organs are visible through jelly-like skin. There are those with glowing tentacles. There are those with eyes upon stalks, and there are those with no eyes. Their development has been in direct response to extreme pressure and utter darkness, not to sunshine and open water. And that forms shapes of which we find it hard to comprehend. Consider the anglerfish, a nightmare predator with a glowing lure which hangs on its head. The anglerfish does not light itself up. It contains highly specialized symbiotic bacteria within the lure, which exist in this unique partnership. Each anglerfish species has a specific species of bacteria. Scientists are yet to understand the way in which these bacteria are acquired by baby anglerfish. They are not known to survive freely in seawater. Through gradual coevolution, these fish and bacteria have become inseparable over millions of years. It is a partnership which we can see but never fully understand. Hidden superhighways. Even the most basic animals are a mystery. Research into the brittle stars, echinoderms, which are spindly and have a spider-like shape, has shown the following astonishing revelation. Populations that were separated by oceans were found to have genetic connectivity. These are creatures that are 1,000 miles apart and are somehow maintaining gene flow. It is referred to by scientists as an evolutionary superhighway of the deep sea. But how? What is happening to the isolated populations at the opposite sides of the planet? How are they maintaining genetic connectivity? The currents, migration paths that we are yet to find, drifting months through the abyss? We don't know, and that's the point. Even as we take samples, sequence their DNA, and examine their biology, we still have fundamental questions that are not answered. A quick reminder, subscribing and liking the video is the simplest way to support this channel. The unclassified. This is where we feel humbled. When we discover something new, we are not always able to name it. In 2023, scientists at the Gulf of Alaska discovered an unexplained golden orb on the seabed. Biological, yes, but completely unknown. There was no consensus on what it was. The same year, more than 6,000 potentially new microbial species were discovered in the Mariana Trench. 89% of them were entirely novel, no longer branches of previously existing species, but completely new ones on the tree of life. And most of them, we are yet to put them into their proper categories. They do not fit in our categories. They occupy places in the evolutionary spaces of which we were unaware. The deep ocean is not merely concealing the creatures that we have not discovered yet. It is concealing whole groups of life that we do not envisage. The limits of seeing. Why do we not simply go down there and see? Deep sea exploration is extraordinarily challenging, even with modern technology. Sonar has the ability to scan the terrain, but not life. The cameras have a small field of view and short battery life. The vast majority of deep sea videos only show minutes of activity of a small part of the ocean floor. It is like trying to comprehend a rainforest by spending 5 minutes gazing at a square meter of soil. That is what we are doing deep in the sea. And even the animals themselves are evasive. Some disappear quickly, drifting through on migration pathways of which we know nothing. Others are so uncommon that we get to know of them only by chance. The ocean is huge, gloomy, and hostile, and we are trying to observe it through a keyhole. Why we can't explain it? Then why cannot science tell us what lies at the bottom of the sea? Because of the odds that are against us. Drastic pressures that ruin the equipment. Freezing temperatures. Total darkness. Limited technology. Rare sightings. Evolutionary adaptations, unlike any on the surface. We are learning about a place that is more alien than the surface of Mars, with equipment that can barely withstand the conditions. But with each journey, something new is discovered. something unexpected, something that makes us revise what we have thought. Beyond Earth. However, it is not only important that we know about the deep ocean. When life has been known to survive nearly 10 kilometers deep, on chemical food in utter darkness, with pressure equivalent to thousands of tons upon it, in near freezing temperatures that would kill surface life, what does that tell us about the possibility of life elsewhere? There may exist similar ecosystems in Europa's subsurface ocean. The hydrothermal vents of Enceladus have the possibility of supporting chemosynthetic life. Our proof of concept is the deep ocean, and it shows that life does not require sunlight, does not require surface warmth, and does not require any of those things that we believe to be crucial. It only requires chemistry, pressure, and time. We refer to space as the last frontier, but we're wrong. This is the last barrier, just out there, beneath our own waves, nearly 11,000 meters of crushing darkness, with sea creatures that have transparent skulls and squid with dinner plate eyes. Less than 1% has been directly observed. The rest is waiting. And each time we look, we get a little nearer to the most alien environment on our own planet, the place that holds possible clues concerning life outside Earth. The final frontier that has not been explored is the ocean bottom, not just the biological frontier, but the frontier to what life itself can be in its own right. The sea keeps its secrets. Nevertheless, each journey takes us nearer to the truth of the darkness beneath. Less than 1% has been directly observed. The rest is waiting. And what is there? We really cannot say. If you want to continue exploring the unknown, subscribe and join us on the next deep sea journey. Thanks for watching. Stay curious. See you in the next dive.